What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Pink Palace. Today we interviewed Sam Stenson for his film Good Boy. Check it out.
So, Sam, why are we here today?
We're here because I just released, or am going to release, a short film called Good Boy that I made with the talented people all around me here. And I'm excited to share it with everybody because it's been a long time coming.
Nice. Well, I was on the project. I
Yes.
could say it was really, really interesting being with 12 Emerson students that, are fresh out of college, and it felt like film school.
It did. It really did.
It's a part of a larger collective. Could you maybe fill everyone in on what
Yeah.
Pink Palace is?
For sure. So, stop me if I'm wrong, but Pink Palace is kind of an informal collective of like-minded creative people. We're all living in Los Angeles. It's sort of a roundtable discussion for us to pitch ideas, workshop scripts, and then produce content. Work is not going to fulfill anybody completely, and this is the kind of stuff that I live for. So,
Yeah, and like for me, it was really awesome being out. Where were we for the shoot?
we were in, oh my God, Franklin Canyon, above Beverly Hills. Yeah.
So driving in through Beverly Hills up to Franklin Canyon, we had a full crew. We had 12 people dedicating a whole day to shoot Good Boy.
I feel so honored that even one person was down to do this with me. It was such a great time. That was probably in terms of, that was maybe my favorite day of all of last year. Just having the ability to go out and make something, and the atmosphere was great, and I think it came out really well. So,
But I want to know, where was your head at in 2023 when you were thinking about making Good Boy, or where did this idea come from?
well, I think this idea was sort of the height of the pandemic was where I had this idea. I was feeling really isolated and kind of all over the place, stressed out. I'm sure a lot of us, felt the same way in, April of 2020.
And just so everyone knows, I don't want you to spoil the film at all.
Yeah.
It's a short film, but what is it roughly about?
Yeah, the rough pitch for Good Boy is it's about a guy and a dog going on a walk. The dog sees something in the woods, runs into the woods and disappears, and it's sort of about what ensues after that. I don't want to give too much away. It's a really short movie, so just I don't want to.
It's short, but it's incredibly surreal. It has this weird, not like a Midsummer surreal vibe, but it's got your own, I don't know, interesting vibe to it. I feel like it's trying to tell me something that I can't see.
Right.
I'm not in on the joke or something.
That honestly, that is that's perfect, because I don't think I want anybody to really. I want everybody to take away what they take away from it, because I have my own idea. When I wrote it, I didn't know what it was about, and then sort of after I wrote it, and when I was pitching it to everybody at Pink Palace and getting the production together, I sort of formulated an idea about okay, this was going on with my life at the time. I was thinking about these things. Maybe this is where these ideas came from. But I definitely want it to be a Rorschach test, and I hope people just think it's strange and maybe thought-provoking and hopefully funny, because I think it's a really funny movie. I don't know if everyone's going to think that it's funny, but I think it is.
So I think a lot of people can relate to this, but we all were thrown into a weird space when the pandemic started.
For sure.
And it's kind of as a lot of us creatives, it's how do we react to that?
Yeah.
What kind of feelings did you have at the time that you think contributed to writing Good Boy?
To Good Boy?
Yeah.
It was really a lot of isolation, a lot of dealing with, my dad was sick at the time. I was thinking a lot about that. It was a really just shitty time. I can't really sugarcoat it. It was just a bad time in my life. And I think that contributed a lot of those thoughts of losing control. I think that's really what the movie's about to me, without getting too specific. It's about involuntarily, being forced to give up control of your life, which is kind of what we all did during the pandemic. And I was feeling a lot of that in my personal life as well.
That's interesting because, I had parallel feelings from a point in the pandemic and watching your film, which is disoriented.
Yes. Yeah.
So, can you break us down a little bit on when you brought this script to Pink Palace and then how it morphed from there?
Yeah, I think so. The script was a little bit shorter when I brought it in, when I originally had written it. I brought it to Pink Palace, pitched it. People had a positive reaction, luckily, and we were able to get it produced. We all worked together on that. It really changed when I was working with our cinematographer, Surya. When we were having some shot listing meetings, and he sort of pitched an idea for the ending of the film that I hadn't thought of, and we sort of came to this conclusion together, and it extended the film in a way and made it even more messed up and disconcerting, which was an incredible experience bouncing off ideas with him during that process.
Two twisted minds forming
Two
ideas.
twisted minds, two messed
shout
up gentlemen.
Shout out Surya.
Shout out to Surya for being just as screwed up as me, I think. Yeah, that was great.
So you were okay with letting go of some control maybe and letting other people contribute?
And that's something that I think I really struggle with. In the past, I've struggled with giving up control a lot because I feel like I'm really precious with everything that I make. I'm like, oh yeah, I want it to be this way, and like, oh no one else will understand, which is like all, bullshit. But I think that's sort of how I've thought about the creative process a lot, but I wanted to try to let that go during this, and that's how some of the my favorite stuff in the short came to be, was being open to that.
I think that's something that
Excuse me.
that's something I think people learn more and more as they get into the industry, into TV, film, documentary, even freelance work, where especially like corporate work, where you have to give up control. And you have to kind of allow this to not just be your film.
Right.
You really gotta walk that tightrope between letting go of control and keeping that control. And it's the same thing kind of for your ego. How important to you is ego in making a film?
It's not unimportant. I think in order to really put your vision to really get your vision out there, you do need some dose of ego if you want to be able to exert authority about what you want. Right. But some of the best things, one of my favorite things ever is being around a group of people in a writer's room scenario, a brainstorming scenario. I think that's how my favorite moments in the creative process are ping-ponging ideas back and forth until some sort of big bang happens, getting everybody excited about it. We're all, in on something together. Yeah,
plugging into a neural mesh with other people.
Yeah, just completely mind melding with other people.
I think to that, you gotta kind of have to let things flow. You can't really hold on to things too much.
Yeah.
So for Good Boy, we all really enjoyed working on it. We all were very familiar with the later phases of the pre-production, the production, and we had a couple members work on the post-production. But with the genesis of this film, what was your motivation? What made you want to make Good Boy? What was your intention? If not maybe for posting for numbers on social media or to appeal to some film festival, why did you want to make Good Boy?
I think the simplest answer to that question is that I really liked the idea and I wanted to see it come to fruition. As simple and kind of dumb as that answer is. I really feel that way, and I also just wanted to make a movie again. I think it's one of the most fun things in the world to do. I don't know. I have a very I like when my friends make things. That's one of my favorite things, is appreciating art that my friends make. So going to a friend's concert or going to a friend's screening or a play or stand-up, anything that someone's doing, if they're my friend, I'm gonna be there front row and I'm gonna just tell them that they rocked so hard, because that's what it's about. So I think being that inspires me to do the same thing, because of course, I also want, whatchamacallit, what's the word for that? Not affirmation, validation. I want to get validated for oh, I made something and people liked it. Of course that's part of it, but I also like, I think just the more people make, the happier I am. So I want to encourage everybody to do that, even if they have a stupid idea about a dog, to make it.
Well, that's really good to hear, because it's like a lot of times you'll watch like a brilliant movie and you're like, how the fuck did this get out of the writer's room? and you're like, because people care and they like genuinely want to see the people that they care about and that they're around succeed. So one of the closing questions I have is, you talk about having, or you talk about when you're creating a film, just use whatever resources you have at your fingertips. What is your plan for 2024, and like how do you see the Pink Palace working into that?
Ooh, damn, good question. I haven't given it a lot of thought. Usually during like the new year, I have a very like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do this year. I have my stuff all like planned out. I have my goals. I did not do that this year, so now you're forcing me to think about my future. I don't appreciate that.
You're resting on your laurels right now.
Yeah, right now I've basically done everything that anyone would ever want to do.
You're living. You're retired, basically.
Yeah, I made Good Boy, and now the rest is all kind of gravy. I don't think I'm gonna do anything else. No, I think it's gonna take me a second to actually think about this.
You don't have to have a super long answer.
Yeah. I guess I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I think it's amazing that I was given the chance through Pink Palace to like make something like this happen, and I just want to keep contributing to things that other people want to do, because again, like that's my favorite thing, is having a community of artists all making cool stuff together. So if I can be a part of that in a small way, a big way, I'm just going to keep doing that. Keep writing, keep planning my next moves. And maybe, I don't know if this year I'll do another short, but maybe next year I'll whip something up.
Nice. Yeah, I think the last question I have for you is, what are your plans now with Good Boy? It's going to be released soon through, your social medias, through the Pink Palace's Instagram, and you'll be seeing it on Instagram stories everywhere, especially if you're an Emerson student.
That's true.
But
watch out.
Watch out. But what are your plans for it in terms of possible film festivals, or submitting it, or using it on your portfolio?
For sure, it'll go on my website and all that crap. But I think I definitely we do plan on submitting to some festivals, targeting smaller, more genre-oriented festivals, because we're not going to win South by with Good Boy, but I think that we have a shot at turning some heads and entertaining some people at smaller, midnight movie type festivals with this, because it's a strange one, and I just want to know what people think of it, because I think there's a lot of interpretations, and all I want is for people to say like, oh, this is what it's about to me, and I'll be like, you're probably right. It probably is what it's about.
And I think most likely we're gonna have a screening party, so like a lot of parties we've had out of the Pink Palace and stuff like that. It's gonna be just that exact feel you were talking about, of a creative community getting together to just appreciate and get motivated by others' work.
For sure.